Hey everyone, and welcome to another video with myself, Microbox of X. And before I go into today's video, if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. If you like the content, hit the like button, and leave comments down below on your opinions and thoughts on the content of the video. I really appreciate it. So today I want to talk about a couple of things. I mean, obviously there's been a lot said about the UIs this week, and Dirt 5 as well, so I want to discuss those. And I've been looking. You don't have to look; it's everywhere, isn't it? I mean, you see the Xbox fanboys that have switched sides because they're sort of subscription-based stalled a little bit, and now they're Sony fanboys, and some of the things they're coming out with this week is laughable. But yeah, we'll talk about that as well. But first of all, I want to talk about the UI. There's been a lot of discussion this week about the fact that the user interface on the Xbox Series X is only 1080p, and PlayStation have come out and said that theirs is 4K with HDR, which is great, but it does use sort of system power to do these things, when they said, I think they said on the Xbox One X that the UI was in 4K or something, and I was like, why are they wasting sort of system power on a 4K UI? It doesn't make any sense. A 1080p user interface is more than adequate, and to use any more really is just ridiculous. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I spend very little time on the user interface on my Xbox. It's just literally fleeting between games or going to the store. Messages I always do whilst I'm in game anyway, so I don't really understand the necessity to have a 4K UI. I don't see the reasoning for it. And it's great that PlayStation are doing this in 4K and it's got HDR and that, but I just don't understand the necessity for it. You're not on the user interface for any sort of long period of time. At least I'm not. And this isn't a sort of we've got to control all this, we've got to damage control. There's no damage control involved. I really don't understand why the screen where you change games and go to the store and things like that needs to be in 4K. It's just a waste of resources, and it is. I'd rather the UI was sort of instant and speedy, and you could click between things instantly than it was in 4K. And that's what that's my preference. I've always found the user interfaces to be quite sort of slow to update and things like that, so I'd rather that sped up and was in 1080p than sort of a really slow updating screen. I mean, I don't know what you guys' thoughts are on this, but this is just my opinion. But to me, 1080p is more than adequate. I know that Microsoft have come out and said that there's going to be an update for it before its release anyway. So I mean, people are making a big thing out of this in videos and things when it might not even be a big thing anyway, and they even state in their videos that Microsoft are bringing out an update, so that it could not be a problem anyway for those who want it in 4K. But they're making long ass videos about it, complaining about it, and then at the end of the video saying that it could possibly be upgraded anyway. So it's a bit of a strange one, but in the world of gaming and YouTube and all this console war stuff, anything seems to be a target these days. But no, in my honest opinion, a UI in 1080p is more than adequate, and the speed to me is a bigger importance. How quickly that screen updates and how quick you can go between different things. That's the big thing for me. And like I said, let me know down below what you think about that. But I know those are my thoughts. So moving on, I want to talk about Dirt 5, and I know a lot's been said about this game this week, because it's been the game that's been given to all of the reviewers and previewers of the Xbox Series X. So I know that's sort of been the main game that they've been able to get hold of. That's the first game that's going to be coming out on the next gen consoles. A lot's been said about the graphical quality of the games, and they're expecting it to be much higher, etc, etc. And I'm sure, like me, that Codemasters aren't a sort of a developer that go about graphics. Then the graphics isn't their be all and end all, and it never has been. I mean, if you want a graphical sort of masterclass in graphics in driving simulators and driving games, you need to go to Forza, or on the Sony you need to go to Gran Turismo. But although I would argue that Forza is a better game, but of course I would, but it is. They seem to be making this big thing about there's not this big graphical leap with Dirt 5. Now, as I said, Codemasters have never concentrated on graphics. Codemasters has always been about the physics of these games, and then the graphics are sort of, they're still good graphics. You can't argue that they're not good graphics, but physics is more what Codemasters concentrate on with their racing titles, and it's always been that way. I mean, even Formula 1, the games look fantastic, but they're not in the same league as Forza Horizons or Forza 7. They're nowhere near in the same league. They're still great games. They're extremely playable, but I mean, what people have got to remember is the biggest leap in this generation is going to be the sort of ray tracing and the frame rates, and you've got 120 FPS on Dirt 5, which is incredible. People are saying it adds so much more to the racing experience of Dirt 5, more so than the graphics. I mean, if I'm correct, I don't even believe there's ray tracing in Dirt 5. I'm sure there's no ray tracing in Dirt 5, so another one of those big sort of leaps in graphical sort of next gen-ish. Next gen-ish, that's a new word. But you know what I mean? The ray tracing is one of the big leaps in the next gen of consoles, and it hasn't even got ray tracing. And we're going to see this for a while. We're in this period, and people have got to understand this happens every time we have a new console. You have this period of transition between the old and the new, and whether we like it or not, people have still been buying PlayStation 4 and Xbox One over the last 12 months to 2 years, and they've just come on board. Xbox and Microsoft and Sony can't just dump these gamers, so the game developers have got to bring out these new games and try and put these new features in for the Xbox Series consoles and the PlayStation 5 consoles, but they've got to do it in a way that it doesn't leave the old gamers behind, and that's always been a problem, and you've always had this transition period. But to attack Dirt 5 and state, that these consoles, we've got to start questioning whether these consoles are powerful enough because of looking at Dirt 5. I think a lot of people were using that as clickbait this week, and using it in their previews and whatever, and I think Codemasters and Dirt 5 got a lot of unnecessary hate from certain areas of the YouTube and gaming sort of journalistic areas, and people have got to realise, and they know that this transition period is there. It's just always about clicks, isn't it? At the end of the day, we know that straight away that Dirt 5 is not going to be a graphical masterclass for what's coming on the next gen. I knew that even before we saw any video footage for it. You just know it's not going to happen. We've got to wait for the Forzas and the Gran Turismos and all the sort of first party games to drop before we really start seeing what these consoles are capable of. But clickbait rules and all that sort of thing, isn't it? And finally, just on this video, I just want to discuss, I don't want to discuss, I just want to put my opinion out there, and some of these clickbaity sort of idiots that are out there that are just producing content just for clicks. They're not there. I think I've mentioned this in videos before, actually, and there's certain individuals out there that sort of 1 minute were sort of Xbox fanboys doing all the Xbox fanboy videos, and then when the sort of subscription base and views were dropping, they sort of switched sides to the other console, and then they basically started to do the same against the Xbox consoles. That's up to them. That's a free choice. If they want to set out and do that, then that's up to them. They're more than they've got a brain in their head. Well, I think they have anyway. But it does make me laugh that when you look at their channels and people are bringing videos to your attention, that they talk more about the Xbox console than they do actually about the PlayStation console that they're so-called supporting now. And when you've got sort of 70,000 subscribers and you're only getting 7,000 views on a video, and you're getting as many dislikes as likes, and you're getting attacked by the PlayStation fan base as well because your videos are utter tripe. You know, you've got to question why you do this, and for anybody that follows those channels, you just need to stop. You just need to stop, and we know who they are. We know who they are. I mean, the one of you know, I'll mention the name, Crap Gamer. You know, even when he was an Xbox guy, a year before he stopped doing Xbox videos, I stopped watching his videos because his titles had absolutely nothing to do with what he was talking about in his videos. Nothing at all. There was nothing, not a single thing that was said in his video that was anything to do with the title of his video. It was just utter clickbait and sellout. There's just nothing to do with the consoles at all. You know, it seems to just be that way now, and people really need to stop supporting these guys and watching their videos because they don't deserve your views. They don't deserve to make money from you guys. They really don't. It's I mean, I was looking at a video earlier. Somebody sent me a video that he put up earlier this week, and it was like that PlayStation 5 and Sony had done something groundbreaking that won gaming for the next generation. And it was a real game changer, and it was, you watched the video and you're just talking about they put a new storefront up. I mean, how is that a groundbreaking, game-breaking sort of next-gen, you know, it's a new store. It's just clickbait bollocks. It really is utter shit, and it really annoys me that there's so many great YouTube channels out there that do such amazing content and actually know what they're talking about. And they get very few views. They're lucky if they hit 100 views on some of their videos. Yet people like this can go out and just put utter shit in a tagline of a description on a YouTube video and then talk about something completely different. 9 times out of 10 advertising and talking more about the opposite console than they actually do you know, the console that they so apparently support, and they get more views for it. But you know, obviously some people are tagging on and clicking onto it and realising this, because the subscription base is not anywhere near the view base, and there's so many dislikes. I think the video I looked at today had something like 450 likes to 430 dislikes, so it says it all. You know, if I was doing content and I was getting that many dislikes to, you know, and it was so out of proportion with the likes to dislikes, I'd start worrying. You know, some of these guys I think need to walk away and sort of rethink their channels, because what they're putting out is just utter bollocks and clickbait. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. So no, thanks for watching. I really do, you know, really do appreciate the support that I get from my channel. I know sometimes I go a little bit off on a little bit of a rant, but you know, my channel's about Xbox. I'm Xbox, and I've been Xbox since the start, and I always will be Xbox because it's my preferred brand. I prefer the way that Xbox and Microsoft do their consoles, and that's just how it is. I prefer the controller, I prefer the UI, I prefer Xbox Live, I prefer the games, you know, and that's why I'm here. And you know, as far as I can see, I'll always be here. I'm certainly not going to switch sides and buy a new console to get more clicks, I can tell you that for now. I don't care whether I get 20 views, 100 views or 1,000 views. You know, yes, it's great to see my content get sort of appreciated and people watching it, but it's not the be all and end all. I do this a lot because I enjoy doing it as well. It's not all about making money and clicks. So you know, it's nice to just be able to have a platform where I can get my thoughts out there instead of them just caving around my head all week and winding me up. Anyway, thanks for watching, and like I said, if you're new to the channel, please like the video, leave your comments down below, and please hit the subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber to the channel, and don't forget to hit the bell as well to get notified of new content. That's all I've got for you, so take care guys, keep yourself safe. It's weird times we're living in at the moment. Keep safe, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.